All right, y'all, it is Tuesday night. That means one thing. It is the United States' favorite Cat 3 with a dad bod. I'm heading to race crits. Here in North Texas, specifically in Richardson, we literally have the best crit series in the entire United States. Weekly crit series every Tuesday. I'm heading back. It is the third week they've been going on. I've been busy with like work stuff and life and just doing things, and it got in the way of my bike racing. And so we are going bike racing. I am racing the A race, the only race I've signed up for, because I had to work today and I had to work late, and I'm not racing B races anymore anyway because I'm just that good that I should only race the A race. Now it's time for all my excuses. I'm kind of out of shape, and yeah, I'm just like, I'm just kind of like blah right now. So we're just gonna go. We're gonna race bikes. We're gonna see what happens, and we're gonna do the best we can do. Hopefully I can get a podium in the A race. That's a stretch. I've never gotten a podium in the A race. Well, sooner or later it's gonna happen. Maybe I should train for that to happen. Maybe not. That would be really cool to not train in podium, but that's probably not gonna happen. We're just gonna go out there and ride my bike fast and hard and just do the best I can do. All right, let's get to Richardson. Let's race bikes. I will see y'all in a minute. All right, y'all. It's your favorite Cat 3 with a dad bod. We are in Richardson, ready to race bikes. Guys, I am super excited to be back out here. We got a rear-facing camera, which means I'm super legitimate now. We're already dropping 700 watts, because why not? I really didn't know what to expect coming into this race, but I knew that if I was going to be there for the entire race, I needed to be really smart about burning matches and to just try to be as conservative as I can until it's time to not be conservative. There's Matteo Villani looking sharp in his new baby blue kit for Elevate. A bunch of United folks out here. We got some Cheney's window and door folks, Pegasus, plenty of the Cadence Mafias out here. So we fast forward a couple minutes in, and yeah, we're starting to do some work. It started pretty chill, but with the really strong, I think, south wind we had here, maybe it's like a north wind. Yeah, it got strung out quick, and so gaps are starting to open up, and I really had to pay attention to these gaps to make sure I wasn't letting anything open up too much. I quickly noticed right here that there is one opening that is much larger than I would like to see. So I do some work to close that down, and well, let's watch that rear camera for a minute, see what happens here. I can't believe it, but the race ends up splitting apart pretty early. Like, I think that's actually, is this going to be the split? I don't know, maybe those guys are coming back. Yeah, you know what, I think this is the split. We're only 7 minutes in, and this thing's already blowing up a little bit. So we split into two groups here. I think the lead group ends up being about 25 or 26 here, and luckily I recognized that was happening, and I got into this. Following wheels here. Again, trying to be smart, stay out of the wind, and you know, I'm knowing that like with this kind of crosswind, we're probably going to have a break, and so I am waiting for the right wheels to follow and burn that match to get into a break potentially. There's Mr. Kepler. Pat Breen over there, I think, who got mad at me like mid-race, I guess, because I was being, I don't know, something about positioning, so I got to pay attention to that stuff so I don't get yelled at anymore. But yeah, I'm cool being behind Grayson because I know he's going to try to get in a break too, so if he sees something and he goes, I'm obviously going to try to go with him. So we fast forward to about 15 minutes here. I think I put this in here because we have Mr. Trevor K. If you need to sell a house or buy a house, Trevor's your guy. There he is, giving a little deuces to the camera, the rear one. And man, we are just hitting like 600-700 watts pretty consistently here. A few facts for the race. I had one teammate there, Mr. Looney, very strong guy. And yeah, normalized power was 314. Average power was like 270 something. Max, I think, is 1250-ish, which actually doesn't happen in the sprint. Spoiler. You'll get to see that here in a minute. So wind is coming from our left, I think. I'm just getting in Maximilian's draft here because Max always has a good draft. Right here we're under a pretty nice little headwind, and it seems like it normally slows up pretty dang good here. I think because we hit that headwind and no one really wants to work into it, including myself. I'm not going to sit here and lie about that. So here the wind is kind of from the right, a little exposed, more exposed than I want to be. Mr. Kepler again. And you'll notice when this thing kind of gets strung out that the pace is increasing. And so I'm just covering wheels and making sure I'm staying in this thing. You know, it's hard to kind of watch for brakes to get established. You can see how far back I am. If something goes right now, I'm not going to be there. But I got Matt Stevens and Grayson here, and so yeah, both those dudes I know want to be in a break. Heart rate seems pretty dang elevated for me, even though I felt pretty good. Yeah, there were a few times I felt pretty gassed, but I mean, overall, I felt like I rode really, really smart. I burn 1, 2, 3 significant matches towards the end. So sorry about the rear-facing camera there. I'm still trying to figure out how to sync that or like merge those videos. So it dropped out for a minute. The cheapo Amazon camera actually works pretty dang good. That looks pretty clear for like an $80 action camera. Believe it or not, I actually sent it back and got a DJI Osmo Action 3. Just because my front-facing is an Osmo Action 1, and I love that thing. It served me well. So when I got my $100 check from the Watch Tall Challenge, I just put that towards a nicer new camera. So at some point, the sun came out from behind the clouds, and this is what we got. Just beautiful bike racing. Little cool, little windy, but still beautiful. Can't complain about racing my bike on a Tuesday afternoon. Just super fortunate to have such an awesome race series in the middle of the week. There's Mr. K in the rear-facing camera again. Pretty sweet rear-facing shot there. I like this thing. Here's a little effort. We are stringing out with a tailwind, and we're going to let up and bunch back up. There's Lauren Stevens over there. That's just super cool to have basically a World Tour pro riding with us. Freaking awesome. Kind of weird not racing for United this year, but still consider those guys brothers. So still good friends with all of them, and always fun to see Trevor out here and chat with him mid-race. All right, we fast forward 25 minutes in. I think that's Matt Stevens there in front of me. We are going to basically roll this thing to the finish because it ends up being about a 38-minute race. And I'm going to put in some pretty significant efforts here in a minute. So at some point, I'm closer to the front. I see it's one of the Cadence dudes that I know is super strong. So I follow his wheel. And if you watch the rear-facing camera, we end up getting a gap. I see Jack go here, follow Jack, thinking something's going to materialize, and it doesn't. So here we go. Here's some action. I'm going to follow that Pegasus wheel. No, follow Jack. And I end up putting in like 3 significant efforts in a row, hoping that I can get into something. So happy, kind of happy with what I chose to burn the matches on, but I wish they'd stuck. But when it kind of came my turn to pull on, I think the 3rd time I went, I looked back and there were a lot of people still there, and so the gap was just not established. All right, so here they go, and I go with this. We hit 1,000 for a few seconds here, and I see this as something that could be good. Heart rate tapping 162. They go again, hit 1,000 again. So they go when they catch, I think that was Mateo. And we're going to go again, I think. Yep, here it goes. All right, there we go again. I dig to stay with these guys. Hit 1250 there, finally. And this is the one that I thought was going to stick. Looking in the rear camera there's 4 of us, and there's nobody else with us right now. And there's a gap. And we're 27 minutes in. I think we're down to 4 laps, I think. So this could have been it. Yeah, so looking in the rear camera there. Nice gap. We get into the headwind here. And I thought they saw the gaps. I thought they would continue to rotate through. So I'm doing my best to recover, but looking at my heart rate, 164, I'm not recovered at all. Doing work. There's 1,000 again. And people are chasing on. And this is when I roll through here. Close the gap to these guys to get onto their wheels. Oh yeah, because this could have been a 3-man break. I was like, okay, 3-man's very cool. 4 laps to go. And we have a gap now. But yeah, if you look at the camera, they're coming. Oh yeah, heart rate 171. I'm in a dark place. Yep, and everybody's there. So it was my turn to roll through, but if I hadn't been so redlined right there, I would have gone again. But I'd just done like, I don't know, 3 or 4 1,000 watt efforts in that lap, and it just didn't happen. So I know with 3 laps to go on this next one, it is time to recover and just see what happens. Yeah, I let them roll through and decide to just do my best to bring that heart rate down. Sorry guys, I couldn't make that any better than I did. This Cat 3 with a dad bod is limited in his ability to hit 1,000 watts multiple times and then sustain power. That's probably something I should work on, is attacking and then sustaining, 400 or 500 watts for a minute potentially. I think my PR for a minute is like 660, but that was on a KOM attempt, which doesn't really matter. Does it count? So I want to say around here, Grayson, maybe Cesar, and Mateo get away. Mateo was super frustrated that his didn't stick. I think he was just frustrated because he said nobody else was working. But maybe they didn't want it to go, and they ended up being 1 and 2 anyway, so it didn't really matter. I think obviously Mateo would have preferred a break though. All right, This is going to be 3 to go here. 3 to go. Unfortunately, on the last lap, we caught the break. I guess we caught not the break, but the group behind us. And yeah, we ended up lapping them, and it kind of turned into a mess there. All right, another effort here. Nothing huge, but we got that tailwind, so if somebody goes, tap 1,000. Okay, I guess it is a little bit of work. There's old Maximilian. And trying to stay on the outside here with that wind coming from the left. Yep, just trying to stay as protected as possible. And again, sitting in Max's draft. Man, loving that rear-facing camera. My front-facing camera is a little bit sideways. I don't know if y'all picked up on it, but like something's up with my mount. It's like slightly tilted to the right. Super weird. It's on the bottom side of my computer mount, so I'm gonna have to adjust that thing. Okay, so that may be Mateo and Grayson that just went, because we are coming down to 2 to go. And they get a nice little gap there. I think if they'd worked together, that would have stayed away. Yeah, 2 to go. Fortunately, everybody ends up, chasing that down, and we catch them. But probably when they get held up or whatever behind the group we're chasing. Man, looking at the heart rate, that's good. 141. It's come down quite a bit. So I'm looking recovered-ish. Okay, you can see 3 or 4 up the road just a little bit, not much at all. So we're working again. Heart rate's creeping back up into the 150s. Spoiler alert, I end up getting 8th. I think I could have done better. But yeah, average for the race was 27.1 miles an hour. It's not the fastest pace we've had out here, but it's definitely pretty good considering how freaking windy it was. What a cool shot. All right, final lap. 1 lap to go, y'all. Okay, and on the backside of the course here is where we're going to catch the group we're chasing. The half we dropped, like after a few laps. So I see this kind of as an opportunity to move up. Had to expose myself to the wind here, but I was further back than I wanted to be. Got a little bit of shelter from these guys, though. Oh, there's Mr. Looney. All right, so we're going to catch that group right here. Gets a little bit confusing when we mix here, trying to figure out who's coming with us and who's not. You know, like who jumps in. All right, so now I'm realizing, yep, I am too far back, but I also don't want to expose myself to the wind, and I think I do here. I think I end up following Trevor's will. Yeah, he goes a little bit, so I follow that. And I'm way too exposed. But I've got to move up, so. Wish I'd stayed a little more sheltered. But come around Trev here. I think. Yep. I've got Max there in front of me. And I'm just going to stay left here. Again, I think I'm exposed to the wind there. But it is what it is. Follow Max's wheel. This Cadence guy, okay, he's set up. I think I go on the left of the Cadence guy when he swings right. Yep, he swings right, and I squeeze through there. Stay left here. And, yeah, just give it a good effort here. And we end up crossing for 8th. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching the channel. Please like and subscribe. I would love for this video to do well like all the rest of them. Share it with all your friends. And, yeah, let's earn me some YouTube money. All right. Later, y'all. See you on the next one.